No, I haven't got to see the Little Mermaid live action reboot. What I want to talk about today is, does this mean what does this mean that Disney and also the wider Hollywood, are they just creatively bankrupt at this point, or are they just risk averse? Think about it, and let's talk about it more after the scroll. Bonjour. So straight away, let me thank everyone that you're finally starting to like me, really, really like me. No, you're giving me the likes, but you also give me the comments, which are just, even if it's a like the vid, it is helping me so much. So I thank you. I really do mean that. Thanks ever so much, because it's helping me with YouTube and the dreaded algorithm to really get some momentum going. It really does help, because they won't help me or anyone, any YouTube creator at my level. There is no help for us except from you. So I really do thank you, and please carry on doing it. Give me a thumbs up or a comment is the bit I love. Or if you're especially mental, give me that subscribe. But let's get into. This isn't a review of The Little Mermaid, by the way, and I'm not going to be really attacking Halle Bailey for a performance, because I haven't seen the film, and I will not be going to see the film. I've seen the original. I won't be going to see this. For a start, it's an hour longer, near enough. I think it's 52 minutes longer than the original cartoon. So again, why they keep making these 2.5 hour films? That is getting on my nerves a little bit. And this isn't just Disney, by the way. I want to ask the larger question is, all of these reboots, it isn't just Disney. Look at the biggest film last year, Maverick. That was a sequel. I know it was 34 years in the making. Nevertheless, that was, the Fast X franchise. Everything's got to be a franchise. Everything's got to be a reboot. When was the last time we went to the cinema and watched something original? I wasn't intending to ask that question, because I may have made a couple of notes and looked back at films that I've enjoyed in the past year or two that were completely original. But at the moment, I can't think of it. Extraction springs to mind, which has got the sequel coming out soon on Netflix. But in the fantasy, anyway, that's not why I've done this video. I've done this video because what happened in 2017 was Beauty and the Beast live action remake for Disney earned them $1 billion. Then they done Aladdin. I mean, I don't know when these go into production, but what those two films did was literally find live action replacements for their animated counterparts. What good old Dismal have started doing now, which we all know, is they're going to race swap, they're going to gender swap, they're going to just plonk in all the stuff we don't want to have, we don't want to see. We don't want to be confronted with real world politics. We don't want to be confronted with any agenda driven narrative when we take our kids to go and see a live action reboot of an animated film that we liked when we were kids, maybe. We don't want to see any of that. Now, that's on them. But what you've got to think about, and like I keep saying, in the large, not just Dismal, is the fact that creating something original is risk averse. The algorithm that the investment that the people with the money, whether or not you are a big Hollywood studio, you still need people with money backing you, believe it or not. And when they feed in all the information into their, and I'm not condoning it, by the way, when they feed in all the information into their little machine and it spits out whether or not they should invest in a film, more often than not, if you've put in live action reboot, sequel, reboot of old franchise, whatever it is that we need to make money on, and it coughs it out the other end. You have never put in, this is a completely original idea. You know where I'm going, etc., etc. Even if it's a book adaptation, fine. See, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind someone plucking out a book from nowhere and just adapting that in cinema or TV and giving us a good, what's it? But that's why you see the games turned into, no one has created an original film. Now, I'm not Tarantino's biggest fan, but at least the bloke comes up with something new every time, doesn't he? Where he finds the money from, I don't know, and I don't know all the background of Tarantino because I'm not a fan. But you've got to applaud the guy for bringing originality to it. And like I say, I haven't seen the film, but if you've plucked this Halle Bailey out of obscurity, I don't know if I'm being fair to her. I don't know what her performance is like, but she must be top of the shop for a corporation like Disney to say, right, you're going to spearhead our latest film. Why not? If you're going to go down that inclusivity and that blah blah route, which I don't really want to go into here, if you're going to do that, why not create a new moment in cinema for her? Before all this diversity and inclusion movement started in the kind of mid-2000s, what about Eddie Murphy when he was Beverly Hills Cop? What happened to Wesley Snipes when he was suddenly Blade? And I know they're two major examples, but what I mean is, I know Blade was from a comic, but they were original characters of colour. When you simply race swap, this is just my pure personal opinion, when you just simply race swap previously cinematic characters of a different gender or race, you are not elevating equality at all. All you're doing is annoying the original fan base and creating division with people. That word inclusivity. No, you're dividing people because a whole section of your audience, is going to be split. They're going to say, no, this isn't the Ariel I loved, I grew up with. I want to take my daughter to see the little, the Little Mermaid that I grew up with, and I want her to be that one, etc., etc. So, but getting back to my entire point of it, but when again you put all that information into the investment machine, into the money, into where all the money is, when you're asking the big money makers, can I please have multiple tens of millions of dollars to make this film, please? And the machine says, what's the coup? And you give it all the information, and the machine says, well, it's original. Oh, it's got an unknown. And that is what I believe why. That's one reason we are getting this absolute crap. That is no excuse for Dismal Minus's agenda-driven political ideology. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that, and they have literally, they've literally done it to themselves for that. That's on them. That's on them. But the wider Hollywood and the cinema, I'm kind of saying Hollywood, meaning the larger filmmaking world. It can only be investment. It can only be a risk-averse template for getting money to make your film. The other thing, this could go on and on and on because there's a strand of my thinking that says, well, can't we make these films cheaper? You know, some of the asking prices for some of these names, if you was going to do a completely original idea on film, you would need a star to sell it. And they're going to ask for tens of millions. And again, and then it's going to go on and on and on and on. Where does it stop? I know this video is kind of asking you, and I'd love for everyone to get back to me on this. I'm asking a load of questions here. Where does that stop? Where does it stop when a film, an original film, is too expensive to make, let alone adaptations and reboots and sequels? When does just making a normal film, because that's what's killing it. The second thing, major thing, is also creative bankruptcy. It's kind of part and parcel with the investment side of it, because someone that thinks up an idea, immediately it's going to be tested. But no one's thinking of taking a risk with this one, thinking, they're just going to be thinking, well, you know, we've put a note. Can't we do a little reboot over there? So I think what The Little Mermaid is a sign of is creative bankruptcy. And this isn't just for Dismal. This is for Hollywood. It is a sign of cinematic, because there's some TV stuff that does shake it up every now and again, and you know, and there's drama and etc. and different genres. This is cinema now. They are now creatively bankrupt because of the risk-averse nature of investment in this stuff, which is why the machine spews out reboot after sequel after adaptation, and there is nothing original. Anyway, I'm going to end it there because I don't really want to carry on and start asking too many questions, but I know I've kind of titled this as A Little Mermaid, and I've avoided it because elsewhere on YouTube, everyone's talking about, you know, the race swap, the gender swap of what's her name doing the rap, and apparently the film is really dull. Like, as in production design wise, it's really dull and muted, and I've kind of alluded to that on a couple of podcasts and that. But I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest, because I think this one has to stop. You know, I mean, Disney, apparently, I've just seen a little bit of news that said this 200 million budget on The Little Mermaid. No, it was actually 250 million. Now, when you think about, they've done a little skit at the Oscars that cost 10 million, right there, 10 million. Just to do a skit and advertise their film at the Oscars was 10 million added to that. Straight away, without all the marketing, without doing all the rest of it. So this one's, it's just got to do, straight out the gate, it's just got to do tons and tons and tons of money. And it's a shame, because there is a lot of, just look at it objectively, like I say, about Halle Bailey, and I can't say anything because I haven't seen it, whether she's got the bestest voice in the world. Aquafina is the name of the rap that is doing the memes now, that is doing the rounds, and it's atrocious. It's atrocious. Why would you do that? You are time stamping your film straight away with that kind of thing. I've seen it. No, what's the matter with you people? What is the matter with you lot that just can't create characters that people can love in 30 years' time? Not some idiotic rap coming from a cormorant or seagull, whatever the character, Aquafina's character, isn't it? How they keep getting work, I don't know, but that's a subject for millions of other videos on YouTube, not on my channel. And I said I'd leave it there about 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to leave it there now. Again, thank you if you're still here. And on that note, have a think about it. And I'll bid you adios.